Okay, so here we are. Hello. We're going to take a look at acceleration questions and problems set 1. Okay, we're starting with question 1. If one object has a greater speed than a second object, does that necessarily have a greater acceleration? Does that first object have a greater acceleration just because it has a greater speed? To which you say, well, I remember that acceleration and speed are two different concepts. My speed is how quickly I'm changing position, but acceleration is how quickly I'm changing my speed. And so I can be changing my speed very rapidly, but my speed might be really low to start with. Something might have a really big speed, but be changing its speed very slowly. I mean, they're two different concepts. So can something have a greater speed? Does it necessarily have a greater acceleration? No, they're separate things. For example, let's see. If I, yeah. So, it's always nice to explain things with graphs, I find. Let's say that this is a velocity versus time graph. So there's my velocity, maybe in units of meters per second. And here's time in seconds. I might have one object that is going really fast. Maybe the velocity is really high on one object. So maybe its velocity is way up here. Maybe we're going at 10 meters per second, right? And I have a second object that perhaps the graph looks like this. Right? You can see that this object, its speed is lower. The blue object's speed is lower than the red object. The red object has a greater speed, but how quickly is this velocity changing? Well, as time goes by, the velocity is staying the same, 10 meters per second, 10 meters per second, 10 meters per second, 10 meters per second. By the way, what is the acceleration of this red object? Well, its acceleration is 0. Its rate of change is 0. It's not changing. Even though it has a higher speed, its acceleration is 0. And so does it have a greater acceleration than this guy? Well, this guy, you can see its velocity is increasing. Maybe this starts at 1, and then it goes up to 2, to 3, to 4, to 5 meters per second as time goes by. You say, gosh, this thing is getting faster and faster. It's accelerating. We are adding to our velocity each second. So this has a greater than 0 acceleration. It's a greater acceleration, but its speed is less. So that's just using this graph. Can I think of an object that might in fact have a really big speed but a small acceleration? Sure. Try this. Hey, look, here is a great big semi-truck, right? Trailer, right? Tractor trailer, right? And you say, hey, here is a little motorcycle. Maybe it's a moped. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, there we go. Anyway, motorcycle. And you say, hey, I know that from my own experience, that big trucks, can they suddenly just take off from a stoplight? No, they can't change their speed very quickly, right? But maybe this guy's gotten himself up. He's been driving for a while, and now maybe he's going down the road at 65 miles per hour, right? And maybe this little motorcycle, maybe this guy is like passing him at a stoplight, right? Well, I know he's going 65 miles per hour through a stoplight. But anyway, you say, this guy, a motorcycle can change speed very quickly. You could go from rest and go, right? So perhaps this thing starts at 0 and it's going, right? Going, eventually it might be going faster than the truck. But the point is, the truck isn't changing speed at all. This thing is changing speed really quickly. This has a big acceleration. This, in fact, is 0 acceleration. This is like a situation that might have a graph like this.